Welcome back to 10 Minute Takes. My name is Hannah Gallacher and I'm here today with John Stratford, who is the Education and Technologies Trainer here at the Academy. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. Right. So I wanted to talk to you today about all of the amazing technology that we have here at the Academy and how it's used to enhance the teaching that we do here. Because I think often people aren't aware until they come into the space and we show them around and they see the kind of thing we have here. So without just listing all the things that we have here, how do we currently use the technology that we have in some of the teaching programs that are going here?
Right, we do have the mannequins that we use here, which are reasonably high fidelity, and they are used for hands-on teaching with the student nurses. Yeah. And they work fantastically, so they can use the simulation ward and get all their hands-on skills there.
Yeah. So what do the mannequins do?
The mannequins, well, they
or not do.
Well, they don't get up and talk and walk on their own.
Thank goodness.
I do like to say they're all singing, all dancing, but they don't sing or dance. They basically are there to simulate a patient, and they have bowel sounds, lung sounds, and heart sounds, pulses. You can intubate them. You can put them on ventilators. Yeah. They've got like this. You can use them like a real person to go through these actions for like muscle memory and things like that. So you get used to dealing with patients, and they're pre-programmable. So you can give them any sort of ailments or anything wrong with them.
And then just reset and do it all again.
And then restart it and do it again in a second.
So what kind of things are you working on here? I know you've got a few things that are ongoing. What do you think is a good example of what we've been up to?
In regards to the simulation mannequins?
In regards to any technology, yeah.
Well, I've just started working, prompts just moved across to here, so I was just starting pre-programming the mannequins for prompt sessions.
Yeah,
so
and that's
for maternity.
Midwifery for those
Yes,
who don't
it is,
know.
yeah. And that was a great success.
So I know you told me this morning about how midwifery used the space just yesterday. How did that work?
The space was used fantastically, to be honest. They used the meeting rooms for doing their initial talks and a couple of demonstrations. Then they all flowed through into the simulation ward, and they've done all the hands-on things there.
With the babies,
yes, with
baby mannequins?
Yes, also was this, with the little baby, the newborn. Okay. So they used that, and they used the sim mom, which I pre-programmed, and the pre-eclampsia and things like that. And they went through the motions there, and they used the crash trolley, and they had the field intubation, so going through all these different things. Yeah. And the space worked really well for them. There was plenty of space. All the equipment was there. Everything worked.
That's a benefit.
And so they'd done a couple of rotational sessions, and then they went to break for lunchtime. They just floated through straight to the cafeteria area, which was really nice for them. Yeah. And everything just seemed to work as I wanted it to.
It's a really great use, I think, of the space when you can kind of combine the necessary classroom things that you have with the simulation part to keep the learning more diverse, because no one wants to sit in a classroom for 6 hours.
No, and that's the best way people learn, when they're involved. Yeah. And they're enjoying it when they're involved. That's when they'll learn from it. Instead of some people just stand back, whatever. But they're all involved. They're all taking turns, doing their roles and going through the motions. And then they would sit, and then the debrief afterwards, so they'd go through everything. And it worked really, really well. I really enjoyed it, actually.
Yeah, and we have the immersive suite as well, don't we, here? Which, for those who don't know, is a projection of an image on 3 different walls of a blank room, basically, and we can make that be anything. Yes. So what has that become?
Well, that I'm working on for the maternity project. I'm working on creating a home environment. Yeah. So it'll be home at a hospital. Okay. So it'll be the home to transfer to an ambulance. Yeah. And then from an ambulance to ward,
The ward, yeah.
and then maybe the theatres. So it'll be all the different stages there, all in one place.
So the immersive room will act as the home and then the theatre, I presume.
Yeah.
And we have
And the ambulance.
And the ambulance as well. So
with flashing lights and everything.
We can, I suppose the midwives will then use that to train from the start of the patient journey.
Basically,
right
and it just brings that bit of immersion and just adds to the learning, and adds to you soaking all this information in. But I've also been out to NSEC and I've captured the birthing suite, so they've got that with a big bath.
So that'll actually be on the walls.
Yes, and I've just been and also the skaboo.
Okay.
And the side room in the theatre that they use and the theatre itself, so they can have all these different stages in there, and they can be in their own environment that they actually would be in.
Yeah, and you can do sounds as well, can't you?
Sounds and smells.
Sounds and smells. So we can get our hands on any smell. So I hear.
Yes. I've got a nice have an order list of various lovely smells that we can utilise in the room, but we've currently got vomit and urine and smoke and what else more? What more do you want?
But I think it's so important, isn't it, to react in the right way when you're in a pressured scenario, that maybe just having that initial simulation gives people that opportunity to act that out in a really safe way.
Yeah, it is. It's a really safe and it's a really good environment for them. I found it can be quite relaxing, so it brings people's pressures down, and like I say, it can be made into whatever you want. So you can do your physical hands-on in the ward, and then you do your immersive and interactive training in the simulations, the immersive suite.
And then dip into a classroom as needed as well.
A bit of everything.
Yeah, I think that sounds like the way that all of the programs here are progressing.
That's the way everything is going. It really flows well and it works well.
Yeah.
I've got a list of people that want to work with us so I can create content for them, and they can use it. And that's from theatres, like say maternity, pharmacy, you name it, and it's just catering for everybody for the best learning experience for any of the students.
So how does someone get to work with you? How would you, so if someone is watching this and thinks, oh my gosh, I would love to come and do some training in the immersive suite, how would they go about contacting?
A lot of the time it's been when the people have been visiting and they're really interested because they haven't realised the capabilities of what we do here, and they're blown away by that. And then they usually get in touch through the academy email address.
Yeah. On the bottom.
Yeah, and so they get in touch with us through that, and then I would start email correspondence with them, book some time in to have an initial meeting to find out what they want, what they want to get out of it.
Yeah.
I've got various digital forms that they can fill in, so I know exactly what they need and the requirements of the timescales, and then it's just working from there and getting content together and creating these immersive experiences.
Yeah, and the idea, as I understand it, is that you help those people develop the teaching and tweak it as it goes along, but then they're able to deliver that content.
Yeah, once it's done and it's tweaked and trialled and the way they want it to be.
Yeah.
It's accessible via the tablet, so they don't need to I don't need to be there holding the hand. They can come into the room, turn the tablet on.
Yeah.
Select their session, which will be all on this tablet, and once they do that, it'll launch, and then they can just use it.
And you're there in the background, just in case.
I can be loitering.
For the hand.
I will be loitering, laughing at them through the window. Yeah, things like that. But
some people are slightly better with technology than others.
Well, that's what I'm here to assist and to enable them to use everything.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's no point doing everything for everybody. They need to do it themselves.
You couldn't. You're only one man.
And yes, only one man. So and it's just guiding them through it until they're comfortable and confident to do it all themselves, which they end up being.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to be talking to Phil and Amy, who are our operating department practitioners, about how they've used the technology in the space. So that'll be really interesting to hear. Just to finish off, I like to ask everyone the same question. What is the most useful thing that you have learned? And that could be ever.
God, I knew you were going to ask that. I would say I deal with so many different people, different walks of life, different jobs and things like that. I think it's just being versatile. Be versatile, and I find that because I'm always trying to help and guide people and use the technologies. It's that versatility where you open anything and you can change, and you can change to suit them, so you can get the best out of whatever they want to do. So I think versatility.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Cheers.